Dubai golden visas, Singapore residency, Monaco cards. A lot of people think these are great plan Bs, but that's not the case. There are three critical factors why these jurisdictions are vulnerable in the long term. I'm Philippe from EC Holdings Singapore, and I will tell you which four destinations make great plan Bs for entrepreneurs, high net worth individuals, and investors. Three critical reasons why those countries don't make a great plan B. First, it's very hard to get permanent residency in most of them, and it's near impossible to get citizenship in at least two of them. Singapore, you may get citizenship if you manage to get a PR, but it's still subject to approval. In the UAE, you have a few very prominent cases got citizenship, but that's just a handful. No permanent residency. Monaco, decades to citizenship, and approval is subject to an arbitrary decision. These three countries don't give you the legal safety and security that you want from an immigration perspective. Second reason, these countries are very small. They are vulnerable. We don't know whether they can survive. They are citizen states. If you look back in the history, a few hundred years, you look at city states, the history wasn't buying to that. Venice, they rose to great heights and they fell. Today, Venice is just a tourist spot. Third reason, the countries are wealthy. So wealthy people, wealthy countries, they have enemies. There is people who are jealous with them. Their money, you want their wealth, you want to get the piece of the cake. Then there is anti-rich sentiment. There is trends, Europe and the US, which haven't arrived in those countries yet, folks. And maybe we will see those dangers as well for the wealthy. So therefore, avoid Monaco, avoid Dubai, avoid Singapore if you're looking for a plan B. Singapore makes a great plan A, but Dubai, Monaco, not even that, because you don't become citizen. Never had that. So what makes a good plan B? First, you must be able to get permanent residency, and ideally, you must be able to get citizenship. If that's not available, then it's not a plan B. Then it's temporary. Secondly, the absence of taxes. It must be a tax-friendly environment. If there is high taxes, why would a wealthy person go? Why you want to say that? Why do you want to build wealth? Third, the country must have a certain size. It must be, I wouldn't say self-reliant, but it must be able to feed itself to some extent. It cannot depend entirely on everything imported. And last but not least, country shouldn't be too exposed geopolitically. You can't be in a war zone. You can't be surrounded by enemies if you want to make a good plan B destination. So what are the good plan B destinations? Let me present you four. First, Uruguay. Uruguay is 4 times the size of Switzerland in South America. Very safe country, no wars for many decades, financially stable, very well-educated population. Huge agriculture. They have 3 million people, but they could feed 30 easily. Residency is available. You can get the permanent residency. If you show a certain income, you can apply for citizenship after 3 years if you're married, or after 5 years if you're single. Uruguay is a perfect spot, especially for Europeans, and so is Paraguay, also in South America. Very similar situation to Uruguay. And in between, interestingly, we have Argentina, which is talking about CBI program that they announced will be available. So we believe next year you can get citizenship in Argentina. That will be another one. Outside South America, look at Vanuatu. Vanuatu is offering permanent residency to foreigners, which can become citizens after holding it for 10 years. And you don't, then you be physically living in the country to fulfill these 10 years. You can get citizenship directly. And many people don't know, Vanuatu is not a small island somewhere out in the ocean. Vanuatu is a relatively sizable country with big islands and a small population of just about 300,000 people. So they do have farming, they do have cattle, they do have agriculture, they do have fishery. They can feed themselves. There is no tax at all in Vanuatu. It's like Monaco or the Bahamas. So Vanuatu can make a great plan B. And Vanuatu does have a sizable expat population, an immigrant population, naturalized there. Some people with foreign origin already born there. So Vanuatu cannot be underestimated as plan B, and it's definitely one of the most friendly places in the Pacific for foreigners to go and stay. The pushback on Vanuatu may be that it's very remote, but that can be a plus or a minus. What you can seriously consider as a downside on Vanuatu is the lack of educational and medical facilities. You have these things, but only to a certain degree. The University of the Pacific has a campus there, but you don't have as many universities there as you have, say, in Uruguay. For certain medical treatments, you need to leave the island. So this is a downside, but still, it's a plan B, it's not your plan A, you're not living there full time. It's a place where you can go, stay if need be. So in my opinion, in spite of the limitations, still good enough. The last jurisdiction for plan B is Panama. Geographically different from South America. In Central America, more tropical climate, small country, but still sizable. A financial hub, an international financial center, very tax-friendly, and Panama has been very open for immigration. They have offered residency to foreigners for a long time, but until recently, it was very difficult to naturalize in Panama. Convert that permanent residency into citizenship was not easy. Now, that is changing. So, Panama is at crossroads, and with a more resident-friendly naturalization policy, the term is always 5 years, that hasn't changed. But with that policy change, you can become a citizen of Panama, and that will make it definitely a very good plan B. If you think about the plan B, and Monaco, Singapore, Dubai come to your mind, keep in mind, remember, these places are greatly hyped on social media. You have a lot of people posting Instagram, and nowadays on X, some still on Facebook, about these places. Yes, they are great tourist destinations. They have many photographic spots, but they are not a plan B. Think about South Pacific, think about the Southern Cone in South America, think about Central America, think about places that can feed themselves and that have a long-term perspective for immigrants that are not closed, where citizenship can be okay. So think of Paraguay, Uruguay, Panama, Vanuatu, and soon Argentina.